Pretty soon I will touch on some issues that seem impossible, but this is where we're at on the earth with perception, how we need to break through. And a lot of it comes up, of course, this is a Librian issue. I'm going to point at Libra and use astrology for us to try to understand what might be in the air. That astrology is just a huge season chart pointing at certain processes or, yes, seasons. It's coming up, with Mars conjunct Saturn. Now, people will accuse Mars of being the narcissist, but I would argue and say, if you want to see what planet is the narcissist, I mean, it could be the sun over there. It's very. But anyway, that's controversial. They all have their narcissism, right? If it's gone south with the mind and isn't got its bearings with the truth. But anyway, I'm looking for my glasses at this point. Oh yes, they're all over there. I wanted to look at. Well, it's happening today. Saturn and Pisces and Mars conjunct. And we see the big deal with that is that we just had that eclipse that is Mars ruled, and then other planets like the Sun, Mercury, is going cazimi. When it's going direct, looks like this is when it goes direct, which might be a common theme around 14 degrees 15. And it's Mars ruled, and both of those are getting together. It's very, very, I would say it's full of energy. It's just energy. See, and whether it's productive or not is another question, because Aries needs productivity. It just has a lot of energy. And, this is the workhorse of the entire human organism. We're looking at the Aries part that literally will put on their helmet and start playing player one game, which means we start, let's use our heads literally as, what intelligence are we working with here? What is this, Are we living, as far as the living, it really requires us to be more locative of reality, our surroundings, the environment, how we affect it, who is who in that neighborhood, kind of a thing. And have respect, really, because each one may have a profound contribution other than sticking each other in a box inside of a box or pigeonholing or whatever they can do, possibly with how they how narcissists can be. You can you can, I'm sorry, but just talk about it, I mean, it's terrible. And it's probably, if you feel any restrictions right now or any kind of weird tripping, let alone how that we have something going to go on with the Taurus planets in the future. When things go into Taurus, it's going to square um, Pluto in Aquarius, and also see simultaneously there's a full moon Scorpio coming up here, the next full moon after this new moon here eclipsed, which is going to square Pluto. And it's the first vibrational squares that we've ever had in 246 years, however long it's been that Pluto has been in this early degree. So if you have the early degree fixed planets, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, is it's called the fixed squares. Now they're going to be set off in our charts. I mean, really, we're working on Taurus is really getting an overhaul with the way that Uranus is there. Uranus rules the change. It's just shake up, bake up, wake up, and really it's going to, pardon me while I'm trying to erase some things on my computer so it doesn't just blank me out. I feel like I'm going to talk a while about this because it's astrological, and we need to point you over to the symbology of the seasons that we're going through. Namely, I was trying to get into the vibration. I mean, you could feel it coming on, really, if you want to kind of know what Neptune moving into Aries by this time next year, 2025. If we can survive Pluto having gone back and hit 29 degrees Capricorn one more time, this coming September, which I can't imagine. I'm ready to go more self-sustained, more than better than ever. We've had Jupiter um, going to conjunct this Uranus and Taurus, which the Uranus and Taurus is really testing it's reorientating our very value of whatever. I mean, what is valuable? Like especially yes, our monies. What is? How do we get our monies into it? And I don't know if you've noticed, but it's kind of you want to kind of step away from thinking that the system itself, say stock market or something, I mean, what has it switched over to? More and more, it switched over into an unreal thing. What do you mean stock market? Look at it. They're keeping cattle under the control of this financial institution. That, boy, when you start working that particular thing, you're nowhere near what we thought it was, which was, is it really benefiting our like lives? Is our quality of lives going up by way of money grubbing and making the money go? And how's it going? I mean, like, how are we going to live? Our money, the planets where they are with Jupiter conjuncting Uranus at the end of the month. See, right now we have Mars conjuncting Saturn. If you feel like really drained out and like it's like the usual, I was just about to say lethargia, even. Um, uh, that's probably the negative side of it. I mean, really, it's really physically constrictive. If you ask me, Mars conjuncting Saturn alone. Now it's in Pisces. I'm sensing some kind of constriction regarding, and or there is a refining of a refinery, a refining going on of now I mentioned warlords because a lot of warlords and war generals, okay, war generals and people who do really good in combat that have really that stand out as having great tactics in war. They have they were born with a Mars Saturn aspect, particularly the conjunction, and that's what we're going through with. But in Pisces, see, we point at the spiritual life where there's self undoing in a lot of other ways, but it's really it's just a place of dissolve. Like that's kind of the spiritual realm, and getting into more like to add in what is useful there. Well, the imagination is, a healthy imagination. Really, we're not going away from the physical too much, but the oceanic quality of Pisces is definitely dissolving a lot in Mars. It's hard for Mars to be in water, right? It's kind of, we've talked about it. It's prone to self pity, blame, um, feeling depressed. I mean, go ahead and rest. Take a rest. Do all the babying you can because look, Mars is going to go into Aries after it's in Pisces, which is, we're going to get through this. Mars is conjuncting Saturn, and it's going to, in no time, by the time it's May, here it is at 0 degrees, and Venus is actually going into Taurus at the same exact time, which is kind of neat. Venus is at home in Taurus there on May 1st. Saturn here at 14 degrees. So it's Mars conjunct Saturn. It's just kind of slow getting out of the Pisces vibe planets. I mean, especially with, I mean, you could get completely out of it and forget the reason why that there's even Pisces with Saturn there. Saturn takes away from and kind of dries up the fun of that sign and whatever it hits. So it's just nothing but business. It's just nothing but this lesson of like, well, yeah, your lessons. For Pisces, it's to not be so wishy-washy. Can you stop being the ocean? Can you stop feeling? Can you stop being spiritual? Can you stop being versatile? Can you stop being compassionate? Can you stop being all this stuff, which just takes the air out of all of humanity? And pretty soon, yes, I've never met a Saturn in Pisces that wasn't just sopped up with a victim story, and their Saturn returns involves major rehabilitation because they don't know where else to go. Because, well, what causes a lot of the trauma, the major issues that we run into is, come on, babes, it's the abuse that's happening, relying on some false prophet, let's say that. And what does that mean? God, that's just going general, but I'm saying that there's a system out there that might be creating uh, conditions within each individual individually. Just really, it could be very targeted. Like, I mean, God, it's a hit and miss, maybe, if you're that so-called shelter. But boy, be careful, like I said, with the money. Be careful of money sheltering people into something that is more like systematic. And let's get back to war lords and war generals. I mean, this talk right here, I'm a Mars world person, and we have Saturn and Pisces. How could it be so bad in the house of Pisces? Really, but it is. I mean, individually, like I said, you can see. But really, when they pull out of it, they are all just, if you can imagine. Sorry, thanks for sitting through that, but it's kind of on my Jupiter a little bit. It's still conjunct by 4 degrees. I just went through Saturn on my Jupiter, and it's just, yeah. If you can imagine how Saturn constricts, it constricts whatever it hits. So if it's on the top of your Jupiter, uh, you're doing great. You're doing great budgeting, right? Or is that just a hole in your wallet? Yeah, I'm keeping it safe at just net zero. But I happen to think that I'm ahead. My Mars ruled Aries rising, as ignorant as hell, but actually right on the ball, courageous and brave as ever. I am blazing a trail, and I'm here to tell you, is like, give it up. We're about to see something, if we're lucky. Sorry, a lot of I'm not. It's not me that says this too. There's a lot of people with plenty of money who say this. I don't want to be on the side of gloom and doom either. But how long are we going to try and pep up this goddamn cesspool full of fucking just people that don't know how to live? Really, if you want to talk about the infection that's going on, narcissism, you like that? Come on, let's talk about it. Um, it's the plague of the planet, which is just people stumbling around as minds. They can't get into the heart and be a better presence for us. They're not available. So, unfortunately, but they do have a lot of money. I mean, they're doing the money thing, and this is what is crinkling up every bit of the last truth. If there was something good at all, it's certainly not going to make it through that machine. How's your neighbors? Getting you packed in next door? I mean, they keeping you from the love of your life, maybe, if it was just the one next neighbor down the road. Did you notice we have a machine between us now? How do we open that up? See, that's what I was trying to talk about on this fucking video. I was like, how are we going to talk about this? It's time to bring this up. They're doing something right now that says, oh God, they are doing the worst. It's going to get so bad. We're going to see a civil war. And a lot where there isn't going to be fighting and stuff, there's going to be people in court trying to adjust the language and pull up a real live human occupation here, because when you start talking and thinking that real life is based in this talky shit, can't just say these things. See, but people are taking it based on consent, and then when you see what a word can do, what a word is really intending to do, like say what I'm saying is just a mentality. It's strong arming. It's strong arming the truth away from. Yeah, it could say 2 plus 2 is 5. Bill passed. Here, let me write it down, because this is your real possibility. This is the real book. Bestseller, by the way, bestseller 2020, March 23rd, by the way. Started selling out. Complete and total Good news, by the way, that there's your real life starting now. Beyond all words and symbols. Get away from it, man. Just look at it. Try to turn it into just pure sound, even the gibberish that everybody's trying to say. Listen to it. Try to figure out where is it coming from, where is it going, and why. It's interesting because there is an answer to it, and man, if you're on the journey, it's going to trip you out. But 2 plus 2 is 5 because you have to just listen to what they're saying. Nobody's being present with each other. The truth, the holy truth about that. Now we change this into something quite impactful that, you either run with the blank or you run with this, right? So there you are. 2 plus 2 is 5, and you get enough printed at an accelerated rate and enough agree with that. That's the great way to do it, especially tag money and food to it. I don't know. I was onto something, please. Um, anyway, narcissists, gaslighters, the injured people that say, well, how do we get uninjured? How do we feel good? Well, just first of all, give yourself a little cookie every time you say 2 plus 2 is 5. Don't worry, many, 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 many others are going to be right on that side. They're going to be like, yeah. And, and even though there is the right math and the proper way to look at it, that doesn't matter. Money is going to help us get back into an inhospitable corner. Mainly, the human ecology becomes. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, where's it going to go? Like I said, just I don't have you noticed? I mean, who's ambitious to make money right now? Because first of all, does it really cut it? Isn't life complicated, or are you just doing 2 plus 2 is 5? See, you don't have to work to deceive and lie to even yourself enough. I mean, just pound yourself through some patterning. Keep doing the patterning. Keep doing the patterning. Any idiot will tell you that's the way you do it. Just keep doing the patterning every day. Just keep doing it, keep doing it. It doesn't matter. See, that's any habit, as far as the alive are concerned, is a bad habit. Only because you're not alive. You're just rendered dead if you just keep doing something for the sake of just doing it because it's a habit. It's like, what if that person doesn't even deserve to have the door held open? It's not looking right. Whatever. Men, women, I hold door open for men a lot because I'm there and it's open. There's somebody coming and I'll do it for 5 people to say fuck it. And you wonder, why are we doing this? Because it's stupid. There were 5 people there, the narcissist going, you're an idiot, right? Just walk through, take care of your shit, and get the fuck out. Door holding crap. A habit. Good habit, bad habit, no such thing. All habits are bad. What you want is just to be simply purely aware, alive, and that is, it's like, you just don't know. Unfortunately, is there a beautiful song we can turn on? Yes, be present. It's okay. Go ahead. If you feel like it, hold the door open. Piss 5 narcissists off. Because all they can do if they reflect on it and they think that you're an idiot is that it reflects back on them. No, truly, you're an idiot for thinking that they're an idiot because you're so double idiot to you. Idiot, thinks knows you're an idiot. You don't, and that's what makes you more of an idiot. Just that's what we're doing. If you really want to do the 5 plus 2 is 5, I think the real game is who is less an idiot than the other. What if it's like who can decompress and actually be present to problems and solve them more so than others? Oh, fuck. That changes the fucking whole money game and everything. Narcissists will be in trouble because they are the root cause of problems. Now, when we talk about narcissists, babes, we're talking about just the mind. Minds that haven't been disciplined away from taking over the entire awareness. Awareness. Awareness, boy, what is it? What is it? It's I would say I would go far enough to say it's a feeling. Now, where are you having those feelings? Well, I would say, again, now we're going pretty deep. The body, the body, you know. You can get a feeling in your head, Aries, I imagine. Now, when we talk about Aries, I associate Aries as pointing at an organism on this plane that has a potential of becoming a human being, but it's here. There are humans interlaced into it, um, and the poor things, they suffer the most. We don't see it turning out very good for them when they get caught. But anyway, hi Jesus, was that your story? You better be quiet. I took care of that for you so that you, absolute bullshit, may live. No wonder they strung that thing up. Doesn't even make sense. Anyway, we solved that problem. Narcissists figured that out. It's like, here's just strung everybody up. There you go. Take them to court. Court is what really works. That's what the whole story was about. If you look at the story, come on, didn't you even see the most recent movie? If it doesn't include a courthouse, and then finally, when they don't get past that part, it's like now capital punishment is happening. That's what they're called. When the person walks with a cross, oh fuck. Is this nothing but. I mean, talk about Pisces, Mars there visiting Saturn. I mean, God, it's almost like this. It's like this confessions booth. Like, why do we have this? Can we burn this? Can we just go roast some marshmallows now and can you loosen up that shit? What the fuck game are we playing here? Because I see, um, uh, when we take off that robe and all that stuff. I mean, come on, let's look at it. We are heading into a Martian landscape. Right under our noses, they're talking about that people cannot do farming on a large scale, and California is going, huh? Because the only reason California is going, huh, is because they're threatening that Oregon, old home style Oregon grape growers can't use the water anymore to grow their really fine wines. So a lot of winos are going to be unhappy. That's one way to cause some kind of war. I say that women should just withhold sex across the board, and things would change in 3 days or 4 days. But instead, maybe we'll go the route of what they're doing. See, they wouldn't close it off unless they've already opened up some way, other feeding way, and also what they're trying to do is, hey, I hate to mention it, but if you got this far, it's World War III. They won't announce it, but people, it'll be gruesome, gruesome. Where your technology is going to get you, like, oh,